What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're having a good day, being safe, and all of the good stuff. For today, we have when real fighters fight back, and let's just get into it. Lock in.
No, hey. No, hey.
Girls on reality TV can get kinda crazy sometimes, like this one, who went way too far by hitting people and even spitting on them. But one of them wasn't putting up with her drama.
Whoa.
2 seconds later.
Блин, ну это вообще уже жестко.
Ну как?
I think that's a little too much, to be honest. I think that's a little too much. Like, come on. It's not like she actually hurt you with the punches or anything. Throwing her down, valid, you know? But going in for another hit afterwards, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I don't think it was that serious. It'll be different if those hits were actually like she was going full force, punching you. Then I'll be like, yeah, that's valid. That's valid. But those punches were not hurting you, bro. It was if she was over there laying on shots on you, like boom boom pow type shit, and he was like actually bothering you. But they were not bothering you that much for you to actually just hit her again, like throw her down. You know, that's little stuff. You know what I mean? Fine, but hitting her afterwards in the face is crazy activity, bro.
This next student thought he was ready to take on the MMA coach, but the instructor quickly reminded him just how big the skill gap really was. This guy let his dumb impulses take over, but little did he know, the waitress wasn't just any ordinary girl.
Who just does that though, bro? Like, come on, just walk by. You don't have to.
The way she pulled him into the wall was straight up badass.
I don't know about that, but just being not able to control yourself and you have to touch it. Like, come on, bro. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that hard to walk by while touching, bro. Like, what are you really getting out of touching her for like 1 seconds, bro? Is that really what your life want to be? You really want your life to be like that? That's crazy to me, bro. It's like people really want their lives to be like that. Like, oh, I touched a girl. Like, you serious, bro? If you don't actually talk to one or do something else with your life, bro, this is crazy activity.
This next shirtless dude challenged a BJJ fighter to a street fight, thinking his size alone would be enough to handle his smaller opponent.
Damn,
but after a
I've seen
tense
this
ground and
before.
pound exchange, the BJJ guy put him to sleep, while still making sure the big guy didn't end up seriously hurt.
I've seen this one before.
This next girl was enjoying her workout when, out of nowhere, a guy barged into the gym and started messing with her. However, she wasn't one to back down. She reversed him into a headlock and locked him into a brutal chokehold, all while calling 911. Talk about badass under pressure. So there's this drunk dude who straight up slapped a girl's ass.
The crazy thing about that is we did videos on all three of those that we seen. Yeah, I think it was all three. If you include this one, it's all three, I think. Or was it 3 already? I don't know. But we did a video on this one too. Buddy slapped the shit out of him right in front of his buddies. And I ain't gonna lie to you, that shit was funny.
Right in front of her boyfriend.
Well deserved.
He didn't give two shits about what he'd just done,
Slap.
but the boyfriend definitely did. And let's just say he made sure the guy instantly regretted messing around like that.
Cap bien.
That.
Like, look at that. Boom.
This girl got herself into serious trouble, even though it was clear she had no shot against the guy.
How you let him do that to you? Damn.
Oh, that's over.
Never drop your guard until the fight's actually over, no matter how well you're doing. This one dude was dominating the whole match, but then he got a little too full of himself and started mocking his opponent, completely letting his guard down. Just a couple of clean shots later, his opponent landed a nasty combo that wiped that smug look right off his face. Then there's this woman who really had what it took to beat a man. That flying armbar got the job done in an instant. Another cocky dude kept taunting his opponent even after taking heavy punches, only to get knocked out seconds later.
Damn. These are people that they're fine, bro. They get punched, they're like, that ain't hurt that much. I'm good. And then just one good clean punch to the chin, and they out cold, brain rattling, go on bouncing off the the walls over there, just bouncing off the walls, crazy. But yeah, never let your guard down, bro. Never.
In one of the worst mismatches ever, a yellow belt, for some foolish reason, decided to take on a black belt, and the black belt landed perfect punches and kicks, sending the guy crashing down.
Crazy.
Oh
bro.
my God!
That's crazy stuff.
Who are you?
What was supposed to be a friendly sparring session quickly turned into a heated exchange after this guy threw a couple of cheap shots.
Whoa.
From that moment on, it was a whole different vibe. His opponent switched gears fast and gave the troublemaker a real taste of what proper punches feel like.
You get that big swing.
Another internet troll used to mock Patty Pimblett to the point that when they actually sparred, Patty locked him in a chokehold and refused to let go. So much so that several onlookers had to step in and pull Patty off the troll.
He's topping! He's topping! He's topping! Hey!
That's crazy.
Some people are all
right?
talk and no action, just like this clown who kept mocking Marab from the stands. But the second Marab actually walked up to confront him, the dude probably shit his pants.
Oh yeah. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at
Second
his
Marab
face.
actually walked up to confront him, the dude probably shit his pants.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This girl tried to mess with her drunk boyfriend, but a box of nachos was all it took to drop her, all while the guy held his beer like a boss the whole time.
Bro, straight leveled up. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. He said, since it's on, slap. Crazy stuff for real. Ain't no lie. Ain't no way you should knock the nachos out of my hand. If you want them so bad, take them. Here you go, type shit. Crazy. With the drink in his hand, W drink.
You really can't get over the stupidity of some folks. Like this guy who seriously thought a week of training was enough to stand a chance against a pro MMA fighter.
Damn, alright.
Safe to say, he got the shit smacked out of him and learned real quick that just confidence doesn't mean much in the cage.
Damn.
Алтын сен маған не айтқан едің? Инстаграмда?
Тісің туралы айтқанша?
Чё?
Тісің туралы айтқанша?
After this guy mocked the female actor's teeth live on TV, she got absolutely furious. The female actor's teeth live on
What's wrong with her teeth?
TV, she got
Her teeth look
absolutely
fine.
furious.
Damn.
In what might be one of the
front-
dumbest decisions ever,
Live on TV in front of her? In front of her? Can't blame me. Will never be me.
this thief decided to hide in a
live on
UFC
TV in front
fighter's
of her.
driveway. And to make things even worse, it just so happened to be Sean Strickland's.
Crazy activity for her. Whoa.
The way he walks out just tells me he was just waiting for someone to f with him.
1000%. That
Aikido
dude's always
is
waiting for
better
somebody.
than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
After this guy talked way too much trash, claiming Aikido was better than Jiu-Jitsu, one guy made sure he'd never say that again.
Damn.
In one of the most satisfying knockouts ever, this guy was slipping punches and showing off like he was untouchable, dancing around, taunting his opponent, and putting on a whole performance. But karma wasn't having it. Just moments later, he took a brutal shot that instantly wiped the cocky grin off his face.
Back shots are really...
This guy was
I'll be honest with you. He dangerous for that one. He's in danger. Every time you get a shot in the back of the head, it's really dangerous. They need to put armor pads on the back of the head just in case of that. Just I don't know. It should be like some type of thing for the back of the head, cause like dead stage you can That's a really dangerous area to get hit.
Interviewing Sean O'Malley when he suddenly decided to throw punches, way too confident in his own skills.
How long would it take you to maybe tap out? 10 seconds? So I think I would do 30 seconds. No.
Not even close, bro. Yeah, that's when circulation comes out.
What was that, 5?
This girl got slapped so hard that her race changed instantly.
Crazy. It did. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? When your mama said I would slap the block off of you, this is what she means. This is what she means. When mama said she gonna slap the block off of you, this is what she means. That shit crazy for you. That shit crazy. Ain't no fucking way. Alright. But I lost track of what I wanted to say. Shit crazy, bro.
This MMA fighter tried to get slick with a fake out, but ended up getting knocked out instead. So this guy, after learning a few basic combos, really thought he had it all figured out and decided to challenge the master himself. The master struggled a bit at first, but then out of nowhere, he landed a brutal combo that knocked the student out cold. Then there's this guy who traveled for hours to challenge an MMA coach at his gym, but all he ended up doing was getting knocked down 3 times in a row. Then there were these guys who took things way too far, pranking someone into trying to bench 315 pounds for a $1,000 bet, only to back off and leave him hanging the moment he got stuck under the weight.
Bro, that's fucking dangerous. What is wrong with these people? See, these people need to be like literally locked up or something, or at least like something like stuck to their house or something like that. On what's it called? A leg fucking thing. Cause like ain't no way. This is pretty much attempted murder. This is pretty much attempted. Because literally, if he didn't get help, I think he gets help, or at least he pushes the things off, right?
The furious guy quickly made
Because like that could have literally the
pranksters learn their lesson.
Hey, it's a prank. It's a prank.
You wouldn't challenge Michael Jordan to a trick shot contest, so why do people think they stand a chance against trained fighters who've spent years perfecting their craft? When it comes to throwing hands, some folks seriously overestimate their abilities.
Oh, God, Garrett. This was a bad idea.
This guy who was half the size of his opponent, but twice as sharp, proving once and for all that technique beats size every time. This next guy really thought he could blow a horn into someone's ear and get away with it by calling it a prank.
But he's gone. But yeah, skill beats our strengths in certain ways. Definitely. But let that dude get that small opponent into like a lock. He ain't moving. He ain't getting out of that. Let him grasp him. He ain't getting out of that. But you know, it could be wrong too, because you know it's a lot of small creatures that get out of a lion bite. You know, they move their body and stuff like that. But do that to a flexible person. I think a flexible person could get out of that. You know, especially do it to a person that's willing to lose a limb, because that's just you breaking it type shit. You can break it. You can pull it out of the socket. That can all heal up type shit. So get a person that's willing to break, willing to lose that, or have what's it called, a good pain tolerance, and you're cooked for real. You need a person with a really good pain tolerance.
We've all dealt with that one annoying guy on a plane, and when Mike Tyson had to deal with one, he handled it the classic Tyson way.
Hey.
A few minutes later.
That blue net flight, boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson.
Shannon Briggs, a boxer,
His
kept
face,
annoying
man.
Vladimir, another boxing champ, non-stop. But things took a turn when Briggs snatched Vladimir's lunch. Vladimir wasn't having it and splashed water on him, and a brawl ensued shortly after.
You look like swimming, bro. My
Another
bad,
one
it
of those
look
bullies was
like
begging for a street fight, and when he finally got one, he got completely humbled. So this jacked dude
Crazy.
walks into an MMA gym and starts trash-talking everyone like he's the real deal. One of the fighters there finally steps up and takes the challenge, and honestly, it turned out to be a total cakewalk. The bodybuilder might have thought he looked flashy with his moves, but it only took one clean uppercut to put him out cold. So this dude in the black tank top used to bully a kid back in the day, but that kid grew up to become a pro boxer. And when they finally stepped into the ring, the roles flipped real quick. The bully was still running his mouth, but with every punch he ate, it felt like he was the one getting bullied now. It was a sweet payback.
Alright.
Crazy.
Even the world's strongest man himself, Eddie Hall, found out the hard way when he tried his hand against a real fighter. The guy handed his ass to him real quick.
That was a good one.
And if that wasn't enough, his reputation took an even bigger hit. He got dropped by a kickboxer and even struggled taking a hit with a kid.
Yeah. You get some people that's trained.
There we go, boy!
You get people that's trained to fight against people that build their body to lift. It's a whole different story. Because people that train to fight don't build their body to lift or to pull. They're doing it to the best muscles for the task that they're looking for. The best striking muscles, the best kicking muscles, you know what I mean? So no one can really get the best of both worlds yet, because no one really knows the best of both worlds, to be honest. What's the best physique for both worlds? Probably not really. They probably do know, Probably more of a
I mean, she doesn't know that I've been in street fights.
How many street fights have you been in?
Like 5 or 6.
This next gym girl was riding high on confidence and figured she could handle a pro grappler. Her opponent may have looked smaller, but her skills were on a whole different level.
She's got her in an arm bar. She's got her in an arm bar. Alright, stop.
yeah.
This
she
street
kept
fighter
on
walked
that
into an
shoulder
MMA
broken.
gym acting all delusional, but his luck ran out in a matter of seconds.
And we're done.
You're gonna come here.
Sorry about that.
Next, we've got a bodybuilder stepping into the ring with a Korean MMA fighter. He landed a few body shots, but they didn't do a thing. Within seconds, he realized he was completely out of his league.
People that I'm scared of the most is
This
definitely
next girl really
grapplers.
thought she could smack a guy and walk away with it, just because she's a woman.
Oh, actually, we've seen this before. But
When
yeah,
this bodybuilder tried
grapplers
to
are
mess with
terrifying.
Francis Ngannou, this was his reaction.
My sister hit harder than that.
But Francis only used 10% of his power, and the bodybuilder regretted every second that led him to that moment. This may not exactly fit here, but it's definitely funny as hell.
Damn. Oh.
These tough guys are all bark and no bite, and none of them can seem to back it up.
Man.
Then there's this guy and his girlfriend who got into an argument with Joe, and the guy figured he could settle it with his fists.
Oh my God!
And then all of a sudden they start going at it. Hey. And we have to go.
Another so-called karate guy turned out to be just a punk when he stepped up to a real powerhouse. He got tossed around like a rag doll, and all that flashy martial arts attitude disappeared real quick. This guy walked into a jiu-jitsu gym thinking his muscles made him unstoppable. He decided to pick a fight with a female fighter, and even started talking trash before the match.
Girl, come on, man. You wanna do my business?
But just a few seconds in, she silenced him with a perfect takedown and a tight chokehold. Another one of those wannabe challengers walked into an MMA gym and started randomly throwing punches without any real technique, but one body shot was enough to drop him for good.
Yeah, when you're not constantly training to take hits, Like, that's the other reason why I say bears cannot. I mean, not bears. I mean, 100 men ain't beating a gorilla. We're talking about average men. We're talking about average men. They're not saying men that are built to fight. They're not saying men with weapons. They're saying normal people that you see on the street can beat a gorilla if it's 100 of them. Nope. Not one of them taking a hit. Not one of them taking a hit. None of them knows what a good hit it feels like. Like, probably had some good brawls here and there, but nobody knows how a real hit feels like. They're getting dropped like this from this. These are not even the top leagues. These are people that are at the top hitting them, but the punches are like fucking tanks or something like that. You know what I mean? These are just normal trainers and normal fighters. You know what I mean? Just normal fighters. When these are not fighters with talent and super training to them. Like, get to the fighters that had the talent to fight, plus with the hard work, and you're in a whole nother league. They feel like superhumans appear to you. That's how I can go so far.
Then we have the Nafati brothers, who seem to have taken their TikTok mockery a bit too far when they slapped Eddie Hall in the face. And Eddie obviously wasn't about to let it slide and took his revenge in the ring.
I've seen this. This is way too funny.
That slap earned him a knockout from the depths of hell. Then we have Brolio Rodriguez, a guy who seriously thought he was on Muhammad Ali's level. Sure, his footwork had a little flair, but his ego and arrogance were on a whole different level. He had a habit of mocking his opponents mid-fight, showboating like he was untouchable, and he pulled this stunt in almost every bout. But one day he ran into the wrong opponent, and let's just say, the showboating didn't slide.
And Rodriguez goes down.
Danced like a butterfly, dropped like a rock, knocked out in 3 and totally in shock.
That's a good one. I like that. Dance like a butterfly.
We've already proven that any kind of beatdown will not break us, but our training will simply just end your career, Sean.
This next guy, a Navy SEAL, claimed that SEAL training is way tougher than MMA, and even went as far as saying that the weakest SEAL could take down someone like Sean Strickland.
Well, here I am. The weakest SEAL that has ever been created would destroy you in a street fight.
Are you sure about that?
But when Sean actually agreed to spar, it was a whole different story. He toyed with the SEAL in the ring, dominating from start to finish.
Yeah, because like, you're built to survive. That's literally what they're trained for. Is not to like be a crazy fighter or anything. They're built to survive. Like, in war, they build you to survive. That's the whole point. Is to come back alive. So they build you to, live, to fight for your life type shit. Not for individuals fights. You're fighting with a gun, by the way. You're not over there hand-to-hand combat. And even the hand-to-hand combat, my bad. It's not even that crazy for. Yeah, I think 1000% they can definitely beat the average Joe, but it's no real crazy crazy training. I think they do, like boxers and MMA and like other fighters really do, because they live their life learning their technique type stuff. People in war and stuff like that, they live their life learning how to survive,
By the end, it felt like Sean had knocked the fight and the confidence right out of him.
Oh, that's he got him. Oh, I got him.
But he is fighting somebody that's,
This next guy, Caleb Plant, is pretty well known for his cocky attitude and dirty antics, both inside and outside the ring, totally disrespecting the spirit of the sport. But he definitely crossed a line when he tried to slap the GOAT himself, Canelo Alvarez.
Don't get paid.
Let's just say Canelo made sure Caleb paid for every bit of that arrogance once they stepped into the ring.
Plant might have gotten hurt. Right uppercut, down goes Plant for the first time in the fight.
This Asian guy was a legit street fighter, and in his first ever MMA match, he showed exactly why. Dude came in swinging and proved he wasn't there to play around. Another guy who claimed to have skills like Jackie Chan walked in full of confidence, thinking he'd flip, kick, and dodge like a movie star. But the moment the bell rang, he got tossed around like a prop in one of Jackie's blooper reels.
Let's go. 5, 4, 3.
This next guy, Jerome Banner, had a reputation for delivering brutal one-punch knockouts, finishing almost all his opponents with a single shot, and sometimes even using cheap tricks to get the job done. But then came Mark Hunt, a fighter known for having an invincible chin. What followed was an intense back-and-forth war, with both guys trading some seriously heavy shots. But in the end, Mark had the last laugh, dropping Banner with a vicious combo that sealed the deal.
He wasn't ready for that one.
Then there's this reality show champ who got way too cocky and thought he could take on a retired boxing legend. But
the crazy thing about it, though, the dude that knocked out the video we watched, the dude didn't even look like he even was trying. Like, look how he walked away. He just walked away like nonchalant. Look at that shit.
Then there's this reality show champ who got way too cocky and thought he could take on a retired boxing legend. But within seconds, he was on the mat twice in the first round. Just goes to show, being all muscle doesn't mean much if you don't have the real skills, and his opponent had those for sure. Is this the BJJ version of Gator's death roll? Comment down below.
I think so. Who's gonna win?
So this dude started running his mouth at the gym, and a 16-year-old kid decided to step up.
See? He's ass. What about you? You missed.
And man, the kid put on a show, ducking punches like a pro, landing clean shots, and having the whole gym cheering him on.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you get it. Ooh, you get it. Hand it to him. Look at him.
Then we have a Taekwondo black belt who had great mastery of his skills, but his opponent seemed to make fun of him before the fight. However, the moment the fight started, it was an entirely different story. The black belt fought like a video game character, so graceful, yet deadly.
I don't know about graceful, but definitely throwing some haymakers.
This guy said he was a street fighter, but all he ever did was pick on people smaller than him. When he finally went up against a real fighter, he got totally humbled. No footwork, no technique. He looked like a cartoon character out there.
He just punched.
Two girls were goofing around, smacking their...
Hey, that's why people say, that's why people say, when you see the fights and people using, those matches and stuff like that, street fighting is way different. Street fighting is really just people, you might have skill, but the people that you're fighting does not. All right, so they're not gonna make the same decisions you're making, or they're not gonna punch the way you think they're gonna punch. They're just gonna wail their arms. They're gonna throw something, might hit you, might not. And that's why I say grapplers are so fucking dangerous. Because when you get grappled, you're cooked. Like, the only way to beat a grappler is to be, I think, right is a kicker. I think it's a kicker, or that's really, I think kickers are better than grapplers, and I think those are the ones that I forgot what beats grapplers, but I think they are kickers. Other than that, though, yeah,
their guy opponent like it was all fun and games, but little did they know our guy wasn't a simp at all.
Oh.
This dude really thought fighting a retired boxer would be a piece of cake, but it ended up being the toughest beatdown of his whole bully life. Another internet tough guy started bragging about his so-called fighting skills and even refused to wear headgear, saying it was for women and that his chin could take anything. Well, that confidence didn't last long. Just a few punches in and he got completely exposed. This next guy made fun of his opponent for being shorter, but when it came time to settle things in the ring, he ended up regretting every bit of that trash talk. Then we've got this girl who really thought she could hold her own in a street boxing match against a guy. She started off strong, landing a few clean shots, but once the guy stopped holding back, it was game over. This cocky dude had no problem throwing hands with anyone. He was on a roll, beating everyone in his path, and it clearly went straight to his head. When he stepped in against his next opponent, an older guy, he didn't hold back on the trash talk, mocking him for his age and even throwing a cheap shot before the fight began. But the moment the real fight started, the veteran absolutely wrecked him. One savage kick later, and it looked like the guy got reset to factory settings. Then we have Charlie Zelenoff, one of the biggest cowards there is. He has his own fake gym and has claimed hundreds of victories with no losses, all by challenging absolute beginners. One day, he bit off more than he could chew when he went up against Floyd Mayweather Sr., and things didn't go as planned. After getting absolutely bashed, he resorted to a sucker punch on the old man, and well, the gym wasn't having any of that. So this guy shows up to a street boxing match acting like he's mastered the entire sport, but wait till you hear where he got his training.
I'm not a fighter, but I watched a YouTube video.
He learned the #1 rule of fighting: never guard your face and always keep your hands down at your sides.
Yeah, right.
So this dude in the green t-shirt had been talking smack about the fighters from this gym all over the internet, but to give him some credit, he actually showed up to prove his point. The thing is, he got smacked in the face over 50 times. He had no real skills or strength, but you gotta hand it to him. His chin held up like a champ.
I agree. W, man.
This guy didn't know the first thing about boxing, but he was way too confident. So much so that he stepped into the ring wearing flip-flops and loose pants like he was just out for a stroll. And if that wasn't wild enough, his opponent was an absolute beast who wasted no time showing him just how bad of a decision that was.
Crazy.
There you go, boy. They pressure with the jab, boy. 30 seconds.
Tooted up is crazy. Ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'll say this before we go: is when it comes to grapplers, I really do think the only ones can really beat grapplers are people that have a real big pain tolerance, kickers, and people that are really, really strong. Because like, as long as you can form your muscles around, I don't think you can really, as long as you have that strong muscle, they ain't really moving anything type stuff. But the problem with that is, like, you have to be stronger in the whole body in a sense, because they use their whole body to, to move and to like break a limb. They use the whole body into it type stuff. So long as you're stronger than that, and you're able to pick them up or even flex your muscles strong enough that they can't move your leg, then yeah, but it's not that many people that's that strong, to be honest. So you cook for her, like you learn how to defeat them in a sense. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Much love to every last one of y'all. Don't forget to hit the like button, to sub, and I appreciate you watching this with me. God bless you. Peace out.